Good afternoon. I'm Lauren Rose Hoffland, and you're watching League TV, a service of the League of Women Voters of Sheboygan County. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan grassroots political organization established in 1920 that advocates for informed and active participation in government. Our members are women and men who work to improve our systems of government and impact public policies through education and advocacy. The League neither supports nor opposes candidates for office at any level of government. Today, we are interviewing Katie Checolinski, a candidate for a position on the Sheboygan Area School District Board of Education. Katie, before we begin the interview, we want to thank you for agreeing to meet with us today and also for investing your time and resources in running for office.
Well, thank you very much for hosting me and for the League of Women's Voters for putting on this kind of great just ability for people in the community to engage with people running for office. So thanks again.
So Katie, what skills would you bring to the Sheboygan Area School District?
Well, some of my qualifications, the biggest one is I was raised on a dairy farm. I'm a mother of two, so I am no stranger to hard work and am very forward in my communication style. My career as a supply planner in logistics is focused on identifying trends, assembling plans, and maximizing opportunity. And I know the current enrollment and student achievement trends at SASD are unsettling and not being addressed with candor, humility, and sensible action. That's what I plan to do. As part of my role at Sargento, it is my responsibility to put together the best possible forecast for production given limited information. I earned my master's from Lakeland University after getting my bachelor's from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. I had both my children while working on my master's, so I know the stresses that go into trying to balance work, a household, and raising family, as many other Sheboygan parents do.
Thank you. What do you think the school district should do to improve equity in education?
This is a great question. And I think the pandemic really highlighted the number of students who did not have internet access, meals, and overall support that would allow these students to prosper no matter their background. And the best way for students to really be set up for a better future is education. It is the pathway. The San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank stated this past month that the number of high school dropouts expected in the next 10 years is roughly 3.8%. It's shrinking their incomes for the next 70 years. We need to act now in order to stop this trend. And the only way to do that is to get back in school a full 5 days a week. Elementary schools in the Sheboygan area are still missing a half a day of school a week. Middle school and high schoolers are missing a full day, 8 hours. Any reasonable person should expect failing grades to continue until proper education is reinstated. We can and must discuss a robust summer school program and other educational programs, but we need to do that when we are no longer depriving all these young students of a proper education.
Well, that was a good segue into the next question, which is how should the school board inform their decisions to best deal with COVID-19 going forward? So in other words, how can the school board keep students and staff safe through the pandemic?
This is a great question, and I believe it's one that the school board, the administration, the teachers, the staff, the community, everyone in this country has been struggling with since last March. I believe we need to take the same precautions that every employer in the area has had to take in to make sure our food's being produced, that products are being made, that groceries are being delivered, and that streets are being paved, including Taylor. These parents are depending on our community to come together and want what the previous generations have always wanted, a better future than what they had. This starts with an in-person education. If there are any teachers that are not comfortable, they are free to leave or even teach remotely through our amazing online school. No different than any other employee in the areas, as I've mentioned. There's still $800,000 left in the district to spend on COVID precautions. And if need be, I would even recommend taking a further look at the budget to make sure that we're truly allocating resources needed to make sure students, teachers, and staff can return in a safe manner.
Thank you. What do you recommend the district does to attract and retain quality staff?
So it is my personal belief that with the right strategy, we can recruit and retain the best staff in the state for not only our community, but our students. At the core of this, I believe, is communication. I would work to improve the internal and external communications within the district. For internal, we must break down the walls between downtown and the individual schools to allow great ideas to come from anywhere. For external, the district must enact a robust PR strategy to re-engage the community through radio interviews, participation with local organizations, not just downtown going to these organizations, but teachers and staff. And especially this is needed post-COVID. We also need direct mailers. We need to make sure that we are communicating with our parents. And you will personally see me walking the halls at each of the schools while I'm on the school board. Engaging the community again will improve the district's image and help us retain students, which is the main pathway to generating and recruiting the best teachers and staff.
So Katie, what do you see as the most important role of the school board and why?
I believe that the main goal of the school board is to advise and guide the administration and to make the best decision for the students of this community. I emphasize making decisions because I know it's not always easy, but it is very necessary when you are a leader. This is something, unfortunately, we have not seen from every level of government, including our own board. And I will make sure that the votes and decisions are made when the time comes. I have a personal motto that it's always important to trust the information, but verify. And before making these decisions, I feel it's the board's responsibility to request and follow up on data and information needed for those decisions. Another key role I believe in the district or as a school board member is to have a good understanding of the district's budget and understand where the district can stay either revenue neutral or positive. This is the number one way we can get teachers the resources they need and provide a better service to both the students and the parents.
Thank you. So this is our last question, and it's a long one. Your answer doesn't have to be long, but the question is, so since 2017, Wisconsin's statute requires graduating high school students to take a civics test comprised of the same 100 questions that may be asked of an individual applying for U.S. citizenship. Students must correctly answer 65 of those questions. In non-presidential election years, spring voter turnout in the city and county has been anywhere from between 20 and 40%, even though this is an important election that determines who runs local government and the Board of Education. Much has been written lately about U.S. citizens' general lack of knowledge about the Constitution, the election system, and the critical role of compromise in a democracy. Do you think the current civics education offered in the district goes far enough to educate and engage young citizens in the democratic process?
Well, this is a great question, and I'm very happy that you asked this because this is also something that I am very passionate about, evident of me running for a local election. And I think the last several years has really taught that we need to have a better understanding of the Constitution, of case law, of the history behind those laws in our country and why they were made, the full history, good and bad. This is the only way to inform citizens of this nation and hopefully spur interest and awareness in the next generation. And I would be open to reviewing the current civics coursework and reevaluating the recommendations from the teachers as well as secondary sources to ensure that we are providing the best education to the Sheboygan students so when they turn 18, they can be full producing members of this great nation. And I heard a talk from Daniel Allen from the Educating Americans Democracy Group and really support the work that this group is doing to bring about awareness on this exact subject across the country.
Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us today. The League of Women Voters strongly encourages all who are eligible to vote in the upcoming general election on April 6th. If you are one of the 20,000 eligible citizens in our county not registered to vote, you may sign up easily on myvote.wi.gov, or you may contact your local municipal clerk for more information. Other League TV interviews may be found on our website, including our conversations with 5 of the candidates for the School Board of Education. Katie, again, thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for hosting this. And I look forward to the great work that we can do together as one community, one district, and one county. Thank you.